everybody.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's been a long time.
Now I'm doing the show.
Yeah.
But wait,
We're back after a little short absence.
a small intermission.
A small,
in our regular
unavoidable. I was called out of town for work-related reasons.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He had to fight fires.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had to fuck the fire to death.
But you were the hero that forest fire needed.
Yeah.
You and
To put its penis.
You and your swinging dick of justice.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, that area is off limits while they clean up the. Anyway, please do continue. Though you were hosting.
Yes. So we're back. It's getting awfully close to Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
It's the winter is beginning to set in.
Thanks, Garvin.
Thorks Gorvin.
Thanks, Gavin.
Tarks Garvin.
Derek's Bentley.
We have somehow managed to not go into hibernation mode and all seem to be in a pretty swell mood.
Yeah, I
know
think so.
I am. And I guess why dance around it? Let's just talk about it, gentlemen. We're fucked.
We are fucked
We're
indeed.
fucked.
Oh, yeah.
We thought maybe maybe we would talk about how maybe with Thanksgiving coming up we could be grateful for not being fucked.
Not at all.
But we're fucked.
We're fucked, man. Just jumping right into it.
We're fucked.
There's no playful banter on
No,
this episode.
just diving right into
Diving
the
right
fucking
in. We're just going dick deep. Dick deep?
dick deep.
What?
Dick deep, private eye.
But I invite one of you to start. Whoever is most fucked.
Okay,
Please.
so, oh my god, I forgot how I was going to articulate this, but essentially we're fucked because you guys have seen Taken, right?
Yes, of course. Straight up tooken.
Now-
with Neeson's.
Now, if you've never seen Taken, it's obviously Liam Neeson kills just about everyone in Paris to get his daughter back.
Yeah, Liam Neeson as Liam Neeson.
In the Liam Neeson story.
Liam Neeson experience.
Now, if you've seen the movie, you know that the bad guys of the movies are human sex traffickers.
Yeah.
Basically, drug dealers, you can make the argument that they're just trying to make a living or that they don't have another choice in life. Mm-hmm. Muggers, they're desperate for food.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is absolutely nothing to excuse I think human trafficking is probably the single worst fucking thing you can do.
Yeah.
It's about the evilest and most direct form of awfulness.
It's pretty heinous.
Right up there with rape and murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so
And
personal.
usually the rape is kind of a package deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I first saw Taken, I don't know about you guys, I was like,
Tooked.
yeah. There's when I first saw Tooked, there's a scene where like Liam Neeson finds his daughter and she's like being put up for auction.
Yeah.
And there's these like rich guys in a dark room like silently bidding on her.
It's such like a pronounced scene. It sears itself in your head.
Yeah, because like her and the other girls in that scene are like they're drugged up, like
Right,
they're
they're
coked
doped
up.
up,
They
right.
don't know where they are.
Yeah.
And my first time seeing that scene, I was like, rich people are assholes, but this is probably just more of a like a an action movie fantasy than anything else.
This would never happen in the world.
More and more, it's becoming clear that this sort of thing actually happens in the world,
Frequently.
and that rich people buy and sell people and treat them like cargo.
I don't know much about this, and I feel like I'm about to be really sad.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Northeast Ohio is one of the highest areas in the country.
Toledo, I heard.
Toledo's a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Akron, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I know it happens, but it's just like one of those realities I have not explored that far.
It's like because around the time of the Weinstein accusations and is it Weinstein or Weinstein?
Like a Weinstein cowboy. Sorry.
Ew.
Is it Weinstein or Weinstein?
I think it's Weinstein.
Weinstein.
Yeah.
Around the time of the Weinstein accusations.
Weinstein.
It's fat, stupid jerk off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's none of my stuff is any good.
And a bit before the Kevin Spacey thing broke. I remember reading that there are several sources, of course, choose to remain anonymous, saying that sex trafficking is absolutely a thing in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. People are bought and sold.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just gonna say right now that this blends into why we're fucked, and we're just gonna share it because that's really the last episode we did was on comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we really talked that much about this.
Well, for a hot second, we touched
a little bit on Louis C.K., but that was the day before that report came out on him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had known at the time that there was going to be something coming out.
There were allegations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were rumors that he locks the door and jerks off in front of women.
Lo and behold,
which I hate to say it, but compared to like a candidate for the Alabama Senate molesting and or having sex with a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
It's
fucked up.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
I don't know how to talk about this topic.
Yeah.
Because there is a relativity to like awful things to do in this world.
Well, I have a way to unfuck ourselves, which is to eat the rich.
Yeah.
Eat the rich.
Yeah.
Literally burn their homes down, kill them like the animals they are, and eat them.
Yeah.
The rich are animals.
God, it's been a whole 8 years since I seriously considered killing and eating the rich, but man, that was a great time.
Do you remember? This sounds like a great plot for a movie. We could roll with me here. We could call it the
the day when we get rid of them all.
Yeah, the cleansing,
that 24 hours where the rich people die.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the crime is legal all day. What would you call that?
The unwealthening.
Yeah. In order to, from within you, repel these feelings of anger and hatred.
The expulsion.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It stands to be said.
Yeah.
Not all rich people suck. Bill and Melinda Gates, some of the biggest philanthropists on the planet.
Yeah, for all you know, he's got like a basement full of dogs, and every day he goes down and shoots one in the head.
Man, don't ruin my point. George Clooney.
I think I'll do Corgi today.
Boom!
Little fur flying into pieces.
All right, closing the door.
Time to wipe my ass with $100 bill. Go fuck some boogers.
I really think you're right, though.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, not all rich people are terrible, but there is this crazy thing about wealth that enables your deepest desires.
I like that this is happening, though, because more and more people are going to start coming forward with things like this.
Yeah.
It's a huge bummer. I mean, that was my point. I think our points are, like, kind of closely related.
Yeah.
It's a huge bummer knowing this shit.
It's a huge bummer.
We talked about this a bunch of times. We don't want to know.
It's a huge bummer until you realize that celebrity culture is and has always been a problem. We don't respect the right people.
Yeah. Yeah,
We absolutely don't.
Yeah, it's really it's like a failing on our part to let some marketing firm decide who we worship and worship them for reasons that have no validity to them.
Yeah.
Because they're known we love them, and we know them more for loving them.
Right.
It's a stupid, vapid cycle.
Right. So I think why we're fucked is there's like I said, human trafficking is probably one of the most evil fucking things you can do, and so much of it is happening without anyone knowing about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's far beyond at this point just being a conspiracy theory or a bad guy in an action movie type thing.
Yeah.
It actually happens.
Yeah.
This is a thing that takes
Regularly.
place.
Yeah, you're right.
And we're fucked because people don't care enough about human trafficking and let powerful people get away with probably one of the worst evils you can commit to another human being.
Right.
And I think you're right that the only way that this kind of thing, the only control for this kind of thing is people talking.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy when you think about it. Seemed very, very reasonable for a lot of people to keep their mouths shut like a month ago or like 3 weeks ago. And now it seems like the most reasonable...
Try a year ago.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even just right before this, you could go, okay, well, people aren't talking because nobody's talking. But now that everybody's talking, it's like, you kind of go, all right, well, maybe more people should be talking. Like, you could see the snowball effect happening even in your own head. Mm-hmm. You know, the rationale for talking about something that you kept suppressed for this long erodes itself when everybody's talking. And
everybody's
that's probably a
talking now, man.
Not farewell to saying.
Yeah, it sucks. The Louis thing really hurt.
Really hurt.
Really hurt. The Kevin Spacey thing really hurt.
Those are honestly like two of my favorite entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cosby,
Louis in
Cosby,
particular.
Yeah.
Cosby, ugh.
It so sucks being disappointed by people you respect.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
And part of that is because we shouldn't be respecting people to the degree we do without knowing them.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Without knowing them, we.
It's easy to attribute good qualities to someone when all you see is what has been deliberately put out there of them for you to consume.
Right. Absolutely.
So have no heroes. It's weird, but like maybe that's the thing. I keep saying this to myself, like I shouldn't have any heroes.
Yeah.
I really,
or at least if you have a hero, have it be someone would absolutely never, fuck a 14-year-old.
That's the fucked up thing is, man. It's just like you just never know what people are capable of.
Sure.
I mean, I think everyone's got a story or knows of somebody.
Yep.
Who
had a 14-year-old come on to them.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Wait, no.
Wait, hold on.
Just trying to bring the room up a little here.
Yeah.
In my defense, she came on to me. And then I came on to her. No.
All right,
settle down, everybody. Settle down.
Preemptive apology.
Settle down. Settle down, Chris. What are you doing? Stop it.
Preemptive apology. Our generous sponsor, Roger Sick Bastard, may like him young, but we are men committed to our girlfriends.
Oh look, our bank account from Roger Sick Bastard just went up $3,000. How about that?
Why would he pay us for saying that? What a sick bastard.
Chris, I'm sure you have a reason that we're fucked. I know you do, actually.
I do, actually, and I would, if I could, I'd like to propose a toast.
Yeah, all right. I think I know where this is going.
The last sip of my beer. It's not bad luck anywhere in the world to toast with your last sip of beer, is it?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't know. That sounds like it would be a thing.
It does.
It does. But,
a silly stition.
Yeah.
Rock and roll lost one of its best.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Oh God.
One of the best the best as far as I'm concerned, rhythm guitar player that ever was. Malcolm Young from AC/DC died this past week. So
rock in peace
to Malcolm.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I don't think it got enough discussion.
It didn't.
It was a blip.
It was a blip on the radar. And here's the thing. When you go, I've seen AC/DC live, and it was probably the best concert I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of concerts.
Jesus. I couldn't see that concert.
They were incredible, man. They were incredible. But like when you go to see AC/DC, you're not going to see the band. You're not going to see Brian. Usually you go to see, like, the lead singer is the lead, right?
Yeah.
People are going to see Angus. People are going to see Angus Young play.
Yeah.
They're going to see the Devil Horns. They're going to see a Schoolboy outfit.
Fuck around on the stage.
Right, and like play the most incredible solos. Where we were sitting at the show, we had a big screen right in our face, and they did close-ups on his hands.
Yeah.
First of all, Angus Young is like,
he's
he's like boob height. I mean, he's like 5'6".
He's right up to the neck.
The guitar is bigger than him, and he's got tiny little hands. And when they zoom in and they watch, watch him play, it's disgusting. I mean, he's just all over the place, and it's just they're incredible. But that's why you go see AC/DC is because Angus is the face of AC/DC.
Yeah.
But
it's the visual antics, but it's not the backbone necessarily.
Exactly. So if Angus is the heart of AC/DC, Malcolm was the brains.
Yeah.
All those great, the heaviest and most recognizable rock riffs in history came from that guy.
Yeah.
The ba 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 banana ba. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that's all. Yeah. Right. That's all Malcolm. Like Malcolm wrote all that. So all that, like the banana. That's all Malcolm Young. He wrote all that recognizable shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like, that band wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for him.
Sure.
So we're fucked at large because I think a lot of these guys were. it's natural. It happens. We lost Tom Petty,
Yeah.
Not that long ago. Prince, last year, and we're losing guys left and right. But AC/DC is my favorite rock and roll band.
Hard to argue with that.
I heard Angus interviewed one time. He was talking about his brother. I think that Malcolm had retired from the band because he was going through early onset dementia, and he just could not do it anymore.
Yeah.
And he had to, and the motto was always, all right, keep going, keep going, keep going. Like Bon Scott died, the original lead singer, they picked up Brian Johnson. All right, keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just what they did. They kept moving on. But Angus said something that it was, when they were kids in their basement, playing the guitar. He was talking about Malcolm looked at him and said, the world just needs one really good, hard, heavy rock and roll band with nothing fancy, just 4 on the floor.
Yeah.
And you just do hard rock and roll, and that's it. And you never compromise your morals, and you do that. And AC/DC's been doing that for 40 years.
AC/DC stylistically, I think, is the perfect bridge between the roots of rock and roll in the old, the old blues scale, the old blues keys, to everything after the 70s, where everything was heavy. And leads into everything else. I really think AC/DC is that bridge.
They're
Links the past and future of rock and roll.
They're so important because it's just driving. I dare you to put on any of those albums and not bang your head a little bit. Yeah. And they never change their style. They've been playing the same music for years. No band has done more with 3 power chords than AC/DC. And that was all Malcolm Young.
Yeah.
And it's just, it kind of sucks that
it's kind of funny. A lot of bands innovate themselves out of relevance.
Yeah.
They do the next new album and they pursue this new direction, and some fans love it, some fans hate it.
Right.
And they kind of just cut away at the number of people that really love them. Being uncompromising gets you somewhere.
AC/DC's never done that. Yeah. And I will say, like, I was fortunate enough to see them with Phil Rudd on the drums and Malcolm Young still on the rhythm guitar and Angus and Brian. I mean, they just looked, you go to a lot of shows sometimes and you see, like, touring bands that were like, all right. Those guys looked like they were having the time of their fucking lives. And if you ever heard them interviewed, they all sounded as much like, oh, hell yeah, who wouldn't want to do this job? They look like they never got tired of playing the same 30 songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's kind of hard to imagine.
Yeah. They never, like a heart and soul kind of show. It's just, it's incredible. So, one more Malcolm.
Yeah, seriously.
Rest in peace. Yep.
Well, I already kind of touched on why I'm fucked, which is very similar to what you had to say, Ben. But I have one more, and I want to commit it to the podcast for me later when I'm listening to this and go, God, what's one thing I could really do differently? Because this last weekend I got a good look at myself in the mirror and I hated it. And what happened was Friday night, I got real drunk and ate a whole bunch of food. I ate a bowl of cheese dip with pretzels, hovered over the thing like an animal, right? And in the morning I woke up and I was like, that was awful. So I decided I'm gonna work out a little bit today. I'm gonna do something nice. And I have this treadmill here that my mom didn't want anymore and brought it over here and set up in the basement. And Saturday I got it and I walked on the thing for 2 hours. Right in front of that mirror, and I got the neck down view of my belly for like 2 hours.
Nice.
And it was horrible.
Yeah.
So,
that's why they put those big mirrors in the if you go to Planet Fitness in Austintown, they got the
like half the thing is like full mirrors.
Yeah, the weightlifting, it's mostly there for the weightlifting because the form is important with free weights. Yeah. But it happens to be set up right in front of the fucking ellipticals, so you gotta watch your shit go all over the place.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some psychology to watching yourself bounce around that makes you go, okay, well, I need to keep doing this because I'm clearly not done.
Yeah.
But the reason that I feel fucked is I got a good look at what's going on here, and I feel a need to do more to change that. So I think I just wanted to get it on recording, so when I listen back, I go, Oh yeah. You said you were going to do that.
Why didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, like invariably I will not do that, but then at some point maybe I'll change my mind. So yeah, I don't know. I'll keep that one short and sweet. I would really like to do a little bit more exercise, get in better shape, and and that's what happens when you get a good look at yourself from just the neck down. Well, anyway, all right. So enough about that. Let's do ourselves a little favor. Let's take a little break, and we will come back with what we're schmorping and what we're dorping.
Yeah.
Schmoobin', doobin'. All right, everybody, give yourselves a round of applause. It's the big day. Yes. All right. I know you're all excited. I know you're all looking forward to this. This has been a long time coming. We put the work in. It's time to open Roger Sick Bastards Guns and Dildos Emporium starting today. Yes. Yep, I know. You, especially you back there, lots of hours put in. So we're really excited. We've got a crowd of literally tens outside waiting on the sidewalk. I can see some of them out there milling around, looking through their pockets for gum. Pretty bored. That's all right. I'm gonna cut that out.
We also have international Aspen.
Right. We've also brought in international music guy Axl Rose. Yes. Yeah. If you listen carefully, you can hear he's out there. Oh, open the door there. He's playing a show for the people outside. Open the door. Let's have a listen.
Welcome to the gun store. We got rubber dicks. Put them deep inside your butt and rub them on your tits. They are really fucking floppy, rubbery and gross. Gross.
All right, team. All right. So I know we're all excited. Yeah, we need to get a little bit of pumped up. Yeah, we got a big line outside. Let's get this day going. Let's get some good energy in this room. All right. What are we doing today, team?
Achieve!
And how are we gonna do that?
Sell some
Dicks.
dicks!
The boss's wife.
What, did I just hear something about the boss's? Doesn't matter. Let's try that again. I don't know. Team, what are we gonna do today?
Achieve!
And how are we gonna do that?
Sell some dicks!
Clippings and eat them later.
I'm sure that's not what we rehearsed last week. I know there wasn't anything about fingernail clipping. Am I hearing things? All right, okay, whatever. Let's try that one more time, team. Nothing weird this time. What are we gonna do today?
Achieve!
Son and infant daughter.
Nope, nothing about that. Does anyone know who's saying that? I feel like I can't quite place it. It's a little trick of the ears. It's somewhere. I hear it from like the left or the right at the same time.
Take her to Mexico and sell her into slavery.
Tom, is that you? Tom, it sounds like you. Is that you back there, Tom?
No.
No, I knew it. I knew this was a problem.
not.
I knew it was. I had a feeling. You've been under disciplinary review, buddy.
Cut off her arm at the wrist.
No. Can someone gently escort Tom out of here, please?
No. I don't like Axl Rose.
Everyone else, I am so sorry. This was not. I'm sorry. I apologize for Tom's behavior. It's been a difficult week for him and some personal stress, and I think he might have just snapped. So my apologies. I should have seen this coming. We're gonna have a really nice normal day here. Hey, guys, open up the doors. Let's get some more of that Axl Rose in here. Yeah, that's good, right?
Welcome to the gun store. We're gonna kill the boss's wife. Chop her up in little bits and serve her in a pie. Tom did nothing wrong. He just wants to sell some songs. Really needs this job right now. Why you trying to do him wrong? At the gun store. Welcome to the gun store. Why you trying to throw out? Tom did nothing wrong.
We're back. We are back. It is time for our regular segment that we love so very dearly much.
So much.
What we are schmorpin'
And Orban.
and dorpin'. What we are smithin' and wessonin'.
Well, that's good. That's a different one.
It's a new one.
We can never come up with new ones.
I know. We kind of hit the wall with
Yeah,
this.
we got shark and dolphin,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
What we are Sylvestrin' and what we're Stallonin'.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
What were Sylvester in? What were the cat in?
All right. All right. So I'll get us kicked off here. Again. With very boring, traditional, smoking my classic Marlboro
It's
Edge.
classic at this point.
At this point, it's not just something I smoke every day. It's a classic.
It's a classic.
The one with the pyramid on the box.
The one with the pyramid. Nice golden-looking pyramid for the edgy man in your life. Marlboro Edge cigarettes.
Well, that's not an edge, that's a vertex, but continue.
But I see their point. Actually, really want to get away from these. I really do. I really want to...
I mean, to be fair, they're inferior to Marlboro Reds.
Well, I want to get away from those, too. I really want to get away from cigarettes.
Oh.
Part of the thing is, every time we record a podcast, and I have that e-cig thing here,
Yeah.
which I'll just keep... Just the sound of this is not great on the mic.
Yeah.
I can't be doing that all the time. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to chew nicotine gum while we do the podcast.
Yeah, do it. That's what I did.
But smoking Marlboro Edge and drinking a premium beverage, which was tendered as a tribute to my good taste.
From the glass like tanks of Old Patron. 33.
33. It came to me from the Mountain Springs. It's good old Rolling Rock in the can, inferior to the bottle, but I got 30 of them, so I'll take what I can get.
There you go.
Sure. I am not smoking anything today. I came.
Old Clean Lungs McGee.
It's
Old, not cancerous at 55.
it's worth mentioning we're doing this on a Monday instead of a Tuesday tonight.
Yeah.
And Mondays I work until 6.
Yeah.
So I got here a little late. I didn't have time to swing through the smoke shop.
That makes you slam. Look at me, I can breathe. Hannigan.
Yeah.
Don't speak too soon. I might be coming down with a cold.
Oh no!
But I am drinking. However, I did swing through a drive-through because I had to pick up beer and antidepressants.
Nice.
You know,
Don't you just mean beer?
the breakfast of champions.
But you got a good one. This is beloved.
Yeah, the New Belgium Voodoo Ranger IPA, featuring probably my favorite. It's not even just the design of the label, which itself is cool.
Yeah.
But it's the color scheme that I really love too.
It's got this great sort of like the British in India kind of color palette.
Yeah, it's a sunset kind of. It's just really neato.
I love it.
It's a tasty IPA.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like the art. I like the colors too. And obviously, this is great beer. New Belgium doesn't make too many mistakes. What are you doing?
What?
India. I guess I probably shouldn't use colonialization as a way to sell a beer.
I'm thinking. You remember the Amazing Jonathan, the magician?
Yeah. He was always on the Comedy Central Presents specials during the day.
Yeah. He did a joke where he's talking about he got this magic thing from India.
Oh yeah.
And he kept doing India like that. And he's like, I'll never forget this man. This trader came to me, this really mysterious trader, and he handed me this orb, and he looked at me and he said, "Here." India.
I love that guy.
Yeah, it was really funny.
I haven't watched him in a long time.
Yeah, me either. Probably since middle school. Honest to God, it's been that long. Wow, that's like half my life ago. Crazy.
I know. Crazy. I just can't hide.
What are you
Baby,
slurping?
thinking of you keeps me up all night. Sorry. I'm smoking the Hoya by AJ Fernandez, which I think you had on the show before, Ben.
Maybe?
Yeah, somebody had this
I
cigar
did.
on the show.
I did, yeah.
Smells nice.
It's good. Yeah, the first couple puffs I did not like. This is, it's getting better.
It's easing its way in.
It's easing its way in. It's too much pepper at once. Too much pepper.
Too much pepper.
And I'm drinking my last Modelo from last week. After which I will probably slink back upstairs and grab some more of those Miller Lights I brought.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Modelo, the champagne, what do we call
Well,
it?
it's good Corona.
I think we called it the champagne of beer, maybe?
The champagne of High Lifes.
Yeah.
Or like, something like that.
Yeah. Maybe just the champagne of Corona. I can't remember.
Yeah,
what
the
it was.
champagne of Corona.
Yeah, the champagne of Corona.
It really is a better Corona.
It's good Corona.
And it's got a cool looking bottle.
Corona's not bad.
No.
It's just not good.
It's just not special. I think really, honestly, setting aside Genesee and Milwaukee's best, there's not a lot of really bad beer that you could buy.
No.
There's just okay beer.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, I lost track. I thought for some reason that you hadn't said what you just said, which was Modelo. So.
Oh.
What was that noise?
That sounds good.
Cisco AnyConnect VPN reconnecting.
Oh. All right. That's cool.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
So anywho.
Anyways,
Anywho.
our topic this week. I was gonna leave it to you guys to sort of split between these two because I was kind of on the fence between two of them here. But this is what the one that I really want to talk about is I'll just say it, bullshit.
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
talk about bullshit.
Okay. All right.
This is for me one of my
Me.
This is something I'm relatively passionate about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a big part of what we do on the Goose Chase podcast too. Is sort of do some research on some things that either crazy things people believe or things that maybe things that are widely overrated or outstated but that don't live up to their hype. I want to talk about the bullshit people believe, the bullshit in the world, some of the craziest things that people actually believe and purport out there in the world. Just basically, I want to take this hour to deconstruct the bullshit of the world. However we might go about doing that. I know.
This is going to be a dead topic.
Well, I want to start by bringing up. If you recall, a while back we watched that old found footage VHS.
Yes.
Law Enforcement Guide to Satanic Cults.
That was so much fun.
Oh my god.
That's classic bullshit.
But we went down a bit of a rabbit hole because it features multiple segments, courtesy of a pastor. You can't see me doing the air quotes here on the podcast, but named Eric Pryor.
Yes, that's right. I couldn't remember his name.
With an awful mullet.
Yes.
What
did you call him? Father Bon Jovi?
Father Bon Jovi, yeah.
That was fantastic.
Father Bon Jehovah. So we looked into this guy.
Yeah.
And it turns out he was for a long time on the payroll of like a well-known televangelist.
Yes.
And they staged this whole thing where he was like an openly satanic preacher, they called it the Holy War in San Francisco or something like that.
It was actually, it was highly publicized. It was like preachers going to clash with all these Satanists and it's going to be a big counter-protest. They actually built it up.
Yeah, and then they build it up in the same way that WrestleMania is built up.
Yes.
So this televangelist saves and converts Eric Pryor.
Yeah.
And he's a pastor, former Satanist.
Yeah.
It's like
they attributed a lot of just sort of vague things about his past. It was part of the setup for the Satanic Cults video was that I'm a former Satanist, and so I know all of their symbols and their behaviors and their rituals, and I'm going to show some of them to you now.
Oh, and then they go through the park. They go through the park, and there's an upside down cross and a pentagram and shit spray painted on the sidewalk.
It was very clearly fresh.
Yeah,
they just did it.
It was still dripping.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, very obviously just put there by the crew an hour before, and then he just gets sent through and just makes shit up about the symbols.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. That was one of my favorite little evenings that we had is watching this and then going, this dude seems so fishy.
Yeah.
I need to know more about him.
Oh, my favorite part was when he discovers the graffiti of the psilocybin mushroom and attributes it to Satanism and not just California drug heads.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I mean, I would do mushrooms.
Right. I don't even really. I'm neutral on
Right,
Satan.
exactly. I'm not even fully convinced he exists.
Yeah. And if he does, I don't know. I'm kind of like thumbs up, thumbs down on him. He might be all right.
Meanwhile, like most Satanism at its core, like Levian Satanism, is not about like spooky rituals. It's about just like punish people who are bad, be good to people who are good.
Yeah.
It's like chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's.
And then the more popular form of Satanism is a way for atheists to troll Christians.
Exactly.
It's nothing more than that.
Yeah. It's funny how like the satanic panic thing, which was like a defined period of like I believe the 80s, mostly encompassed in the 80s, right?
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons was a part of this too.
Yeah, right.
If you recall.
It's like America goes through these weird cycles of like people thinking we need to like totally re-purify, and then we go through like total hedonist ages as well.
Yeah.
And they balance off of each other, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it is strange.
I remember thinking
strange. Sorry.
I remember thinking Eric Pryor was a really interesting figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a hilarious name too.
Well, with that mullet, he probably casts an interesting silhouette. It's not the figure you're talking about, though, I assume.
we looked it up because we had a laugh. It was like, oh, his name is Eric Pryor. I wonder what his priors are. And he had a handful too.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like the entire concept of hell and a big angry demon running it was invented like after Christianity had already taken hold. It was like in the 400s or 500s.
Mm-hmm. Before though, wasn't it? Because ancient religions have had ideas of I think the modern Christian conception of hell comes from Tartarus, from Greek myth.
Probably.
Where it's the section of the world. Because you go to the underworld when you die in Greek mythology, no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
The heavens above Mount Olympus are just for the gods.
Right.
You go to the underworld. The Elysium is the good part.
Right.
Where you go if you're good, you've had a good life, you've fallen in battle, you've did some good things with your life. And then Tartarus is the place you go if you suck.
Yeah.
And it's deep underground. It's awful and it lasts forever.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that the modern concept of hell comes both from that and maybe from like interpretations of it kind of halfway down the road,
Sure.
like Dante.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing is it wasn't part of the Bible like that. People fail to realize this. The big chunks of the Bible, the first mention of hell was from a book that was written years after St. Peter established the Catholic Church. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like they're in the early Christian faith, it didn't exist. It wasn't a thing that nobody talked about it because
and I think even when it was, it's absorbed from, like you said, like previous belief systems
exactly,
and for specific purposes.
For the specific person
controlling
purpose of
people,
scaring the bejesus out of people.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Early Christianity was marketed to slaves because the idea was that if you're generous and you live a good, pious life, there's a better one afterwards. There's a better one than being a fucking slave all the time.
Yeah. It's a really effective way to sort of quell the insurgence of people who go, I don't want to be owned by anyone.
Right.
Yeah. It was originally a lot more positive than a lot of people. And I mean, not to say that there aren't people who do make it positive. Pope Francis, I think, is one of the more happy-go-lucky popes we have.
He's a happy-go-lucky pope.
Honestly, as popes go, he's up there for popes.
Where does Jude Law fall into the scale of popes?
Jude Law he's middle of the pack probably. There were some really evil
nasty
popes.
Yeah, Jude Law never had an orgy in the Vatican.
Nasty Popes 4 on the Beaver Hunter Network.
Hot pope on pope action.
What happens next is none of your business.
3 cardinals and a bishop.
Tonight at 9. That's all right. I'm into it.
Oh god.
But yeah, no, it's I forgot where we just left off on that.
I think we were talking about. I want to
think about Pope sex.
I want to stress. If you had talked to me 7 or 8 years ago about the same topic, I would have said, well, religion in general is bullshit.
Yeah.
I can't even call myself an atheist anymore because the image that conjures up in my head is so awful to me. I'm non.
Thanks, Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I always say I'm just non-religious.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to religion. I never have. I wasn't raised in a religious tradition. But I think that, even though, I don't think that there's anything divine in the universe.
Yeah, not either.
Beyond what we can measure and see and experience. But religion does serve a purpose.
Yeah,
it's
for a lot of people, yes. Yeah, it does.
Religion is for a long time, and it's I feel like it's only been within the past century maybe that it hasn't been sort of a building block of a successful community. Mm-hmm. The church is the highest point in town, so everyone can see it. Communal prayer services and things like that. And what really kind of set me on this train of thought was when I read once that prayer can be considered a form of meditation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which makes perfect sense.
I think it has value in a lot of ways, regardless of whether its core precepts are true. Which is a weird thing to say, because I do think that truth is really, really important.
Yeah.
Like, having a truthful, believing in things that are true and rejecting untrue things is really important.
Sure.
But on some level, there's a pragmatic concern.
Right.
Of what it does for people and how it helps, organize people.
Well, Dave, you had mentioned before that
it can be used to help or it can be used to exploit.
Right, exactly.
And what it does depends on the person using it.
You talked before about when you were a kid struggling to pray, and not being able to do it, and
couldn't make the connection.
You couldn't make the connection, and crying because you couldn't, because you're a fucking kid.
Yeah,
and not being able to, make that connection.
I was told that was really fucking important.
Right, and then it wasn't. Ultimately, right.
Hello, you've reached God's house. I can't go to the phone right now, but if you leave your name, social security number, credit card information.
God.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. You wacky guy.
Jew.
Now...
Yeah, I think it's funny how quickly we came to Christianity, but I want to ride this out.
Stay on this topic.
It's the most familiar to us. We none of us have grown up in or around Muslim environments or Buddhist environments.
Yeah,
Christianity is kind of the de facto standard for this part of the country.
Yeah.
But again, I think that religion is just a set of guys saying, here's what we think the nature of the universe is, and
exactly what it is.
And other people going, I agree with that. I like this idea. I like the idea that Jesus says all men are brothers, and we can live in peace, but we got to learn to forgive each other.
Sure. Yeah.
I like that idea. And then someone else goes, I like the idea that gay people should be stoned to death.
Yeah. I like that idea too. Right.
So it's not. Again, it's not the system. It's not the belief. It's how it's used.
Correct.
There's no good or bad belief. There are good. Well, there's no good or bad system of beliefs. There's no good or bad religion. But there are good or bad people.
Sure, exactly. That's what it boils down to.
Philosophies of any kind allow people to organize. And people can cluster around good beliefs and bad beliefs.
Yeah. Which is why it's so important when priests and religious leaders on TV speak up against, Roy Moore fucked a 14-year-old. He's not getting into heaven. Stop defending him.
Right.
Are enough people saying that?
I'm saying that he's not getting into heaven. I don't believe in heaven, but if there is a heaven, you're not going there. You fucked a kid. And I like, and can we just say we're on the topic of bullshit?
Yeah.
One of those little stipulations that they threw into Christianity later was like, if you're on your deathbed and you honestly repent, then you get a free pass into heaven. I don't think it fucking works that way. I'm pretty sure Hitler in the bunker wasn't like, oh man, I fucked up.
And then God comes out and he goes like with the big buddy Christ thing.
Ding! Ding! Yeah, like, no, you're all good, man.
No, just like, God, I'm so sorry. And God tells Hitler, it's all right, my child. You have sinned, but you'll be forgiven. No, I'm sorry, I lost.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, well, good enough.
Yeah, okay. Get him in there. Get him up here with Gandhi and...
I like South Park's version of Hell more, where everyone's basically there.
Everybody's there.
Right. Mother Teresa, Gandhi,
Princess Diana.
Right. Why not?
Fuck it. The Mormons, there's like 100 Mormons in heaven.
Yeah,
that was the joke. It's like...
What was the correct religion? I'm sorry, it was Mormon. Mormon was the right religion.
Look, whatever you need to believe to keep you from hanging yourself.
Yep.
Like taking your belt and wrapping it around your neck and then
if
tying
you're
it
not
up in
hurting
the
somebody
closet.
else, I don't really see a problem.
Right. But don't drive me crazy.
I think
Please.
I think that most people are inclined to mind their own business, do whatever good they can, and live their lives. And I think they try to justify that after the fact.
Yeah.
Like, I try my best to be a good person because that's what God tells me to do. Or I try my best to be a good person because
it's a good thing to be a good person.
It's the most sensible thing to me to do.
You know, it might be the under the hood real bullshit here, and it hadn't occurred to me really until now.
What's that?
But like, any belief, any spectrum of beliefs,
redefining what a cable company can be. Sorry.
Any spectrum of beliefs tends to try to pull people to the ends of the scale as far as certainty.
Yeah.
So like, Dawkins popularized. I'm sorry, my laptop keeps making noises. Dawkins popularized the scale of like religiosity, essentially.
Yeah.
That goes from like 0 to 7 or something like that, right? And all the way at one end, you have absolute certainty of like, a God and an afterlife and all that. And all the way at the other end, you have absolute certainty that there isn't.
Yeah.
And almost everybody realistically falls somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah.
2, 3.
Yeah, right. Somewhere closer to the center of the scale.
Yeah.
But I think any discussion of beliefs tends to try to pull people to certainties.
Sure.
And maybe the bullshit is that anyone really thinks they can know anything that well.
I think I've found the answer. I think I've broken free of that spectrum.
Yeah.
I think that my ideal answer to the question of is there a God or is there not a God is that I would probably be the same kind of person regardless of whether I knew or not, so I don't care.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I really don't care.
Who cares?
I'm some asshole from Ohio. I don't have the answer.
Right. I'm going to go, oh, if he's real? Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't expect him to have 3 cocks and 5 heads.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the other way around.
I don't know.
1,000 shining nipples.
Yeah, right. My God of the many nipples.
My God has some awesome nips.
They're covered with gold and
Now-
look. He's shaking them around right now. My God has some awesome nips.
Now, I think we firmly established religion in and of itself is bullshit. But religion can be used for some pretty powerful bullshit.
Yes.
Going back to televangelism, for instance.
Yeah, right. That's the thing is, when we were looking at the Eric Pryor thing, we found the real thing for us was a 60 Minutes or Dateline?
It was Dateline.
That featured-
It was Diane Sawyer.
Diane Sawyer.
Diane Rehm.
Diane Rehm.
Diane Rehm.
We're never going to leave this poor woman alone. She's retired now, for Christ's sake.
Pastor, tell me about these satanic symbols.
Well, Diane,
I wasn't finished.
Oh, this poor woman.
Yeah, poor Diane Rehm.
So anyway,
Shout out to Diane Rehm.
I know you're listening.
so televangelism, we were the Dateline.
Morty.
Morty. It's a gold mine, Morty. We can milk all these people out of their hard-earned money.
So she investigated 3 televangelists. One of them was the guy who directly funded and sort of created the Eric Pryor thing.
Did you do the Zoidberg thing?
Zoidberg thing? I did, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing over here. I'll tell you what, in watching that, I became pretty convinced there's nobody as good at sniffing out bullshit as Diane Sawyer.
Oh, she was so good.
Yeah.
Just don't have fun.
How about
that smells like shit.
How about
Thanks,
the houses in Haiti that she investigated, where the pastor had never been to any of them. Mm-hmm. All the money gets funneled to this one guy who does whatever he feels like with them.
The idea was, you're a mega pastor. People donate for relief in Haiti for orphans. They cut a check that goes to Haiti. This guy kicks them back a bunch of refunds.
Yeah,
that's the way they get around the system.
Yeah,
it's terrible because it's like there's tons of these places that are all managed by one guy who just sends money back and keeps a cut.
Yeah,
it's straight up fraud.
Yeah,
and people don't care.
Or how about the one with the fucking where they actually went to one of these things and they keep healing these people of ailments they don't have, like the guy with the bum leg who could walk perfectly fine. Yeah. And then after the fucking thing, there's a kid in a wheelchair who's escorted out by his father.
Yeah.
Where's my fucking miracle?
Yeah, right. Well, you weren't saleable enough to the crowd, so sorry, sport.
You didn't donate enough money and you weren't in on it.
Yeah.
It is an absolute scam.
Yeah.
Televangelism is 100% a scam.
Did you ever watch Joel Osteen? Joel Osteen.
I've never watched him. I've watched footage of people wondering where he is.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just people outside his church during the flooding.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah. Because the idea was they told everyone they were going to stay open or something to house people.
Nope.
But then it got a little dicey for them, and they just decided, fuck it. He's noxious.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit, man. But you watch him; he's playing in a stadium. He looks like he's like where the Knicks play. Like he's right. You get in there. It's like the fucking Orange Bowl. His church is insane.
It's ludicrous.
It's exactly the kind of ostentatiousness,
right?
And
ostentatiousness.
Ostentatious of him.
Looks like you're the pun master now.
Nice.
But it's exactly the sort of thing some guy 2,000 years ago named Jesus said was the exact opposite way to guarantee entrance into heaven.
Yeah, that's the power of
that's
charisma.
The power of love. I'm sorry. I'm on the song kick.
I'm gonna just twist your head off, man. My girlfriend isn't here, but she would appreciate me twisting your head off.
I'm sorry.
The trouble is that people prefer to have their sermons read to them. No one actually investigates the Bible.
Yep.
Yeah. Something that was told to me recently that kind of cracked me up, I think I told you about it, was that my buddy Blaine at work was telling me one of his favorite Futurama moments, which is it's like Nixon's back to running for president again or whatever, and Fry's talking shit on the poor out there in the crowd.
Yeah.
And Leela says something like, but Fry, you're poor. And he says, yeah, but someday I'm going to be rich. And then those poors better watch their step. Everyone thinks they're going to be rich. Everyone thinks that, despite the fact that the Bible pretty explicitly says don't get rich is bad for you.
Yeah.
In more elegant words.
If you
give the people what they want, they will eat it. And that's what happens in the prosperity church.
Give all of your shit to people that need it.
Yeah.
Give generously. That's actually one of the pillars, not just in Christianity, but also in Judaism and in Islam. One of the 5 pillars of Islam is almsgiving.
Yeah. Meanwhile, cut to a Facebook post that some sad server on a Sunday gets their check from their table and it says, I give God 10%, why should I give you 20?
Right.
You know, like that kind of shit.
Because
happens.
God isn't real.
God doesn't need your fucking money. He's God. This poor fucking server does.
This
Yes.
poor woman.
That
poor woman.
I wanted to transition a little bit because we've given Christianity quite a bit of.
And we can keep going.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk.
You guys, by the way, are way nicer than I am. I am bordering on the Reddit, like
No, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the
in my heart, there's a lot of contempt for what religion can do to people.
It's still
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely there is.
you're, and I'm with you, but I wouldn't put it as nice. Do you know what I mean? Like
the trouble is we shouldn't punish doubt.
Right. That's what I mean about
Correct.
the tendency of belief systems to spread out into certainties one way or the other. I think we really owe it to ourselves to say, I don't know, and that's fine. Or I think this, but I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, certainty is kind of like the enemy of like coexistence and like rationality. Certainty in anything that can't really be demonstrated isn't intellectually sound, I don't think.
yeah.
But I wanted to shift towards something a little lighter.
Yeah.
Because this thing keeps persisting somehow, which is the fucking Flat Earth Society.
Yeah. Oh my
Are
god.
somehow
It's
still around.
They're trolls.
Are they really trolls?
They are.
Are they really trolls?
Like it is like it's supposed to be like a gag thing. I'm sure there are actually people who have mistook it for like the real thing and believe the Earth is actually flat.
Yeah, like what about B.O.B.? You think he's in on it?
I think B.O.B.'s just an idiot. He's a post-millennium rapper. He's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
But what I've heard repeatedly about the actual Flat Earth Society, not just like your random Flat Earth believer on YouTube, but like the actual society itself, is that it was founded as an exercise in debate.
No kidding.
To try and posit the most ridiculous idea you can and try to defend it.
That's fascinating.
Well, that's all. I mean, debate. If anybody's ever been on a debate team here, when you're assigned a topic, like for practice, and even if you don't believe it, you got to defend it.
Yeah,
right.
If you want to win, you will find some pretty. That's the thing is the elastics of argumentation allow for some bullshit.
Yeah,
right.
Now I'm not saying I'm not saying there aren't people in the world who think that the Earth is flat, because I think there certainly are people who genuinely believe that.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, the society itself was designed as like a debate exercise type deal, where they would go around trolling people and like as they were presented with perfectly rational and factual arguments, try to come up with some kind of mental gymnastics to get around it.
That's really interesting. I didn't know this.
There are photographs from British Columbia, like just outside Vancouver. You can see the very tippy top of Mount Rainier, and the rest of it is obscured by the curvature of the Earth.
Right.
Yeah.
It proof positive that the Earth is round.
Right.
And you know, people have known the Earth is round since ancient Egypt. I think Pythagoras actually figured out was one of the first people to figure out that the Earth is round.
Oh, really?
By
wasn't it eclipses that showed us this?
No, it was something to do with finding. It was something to do with like shadows and standing at the bottom of a well in two different towns that were miles apart. Like something like that. It was some like really fucking big triangulation calculation. He was like, okay, so you know, the sun's not in the same spot here as it is here at the same day of the year.
That's cool.
It was really brilliant. I'll have to look it up again sometime. But people have known the Earth is round for thousands of years, even during the Columbian Age. Everyone knew the Earth was round. People didn't object to Columbus sailing because they thought it would fall off the edge of the Earth. They objected to him sailing because they thought it would take way too fucking long to go all the way around to India, and they thought he'd die on the way.
Yeah.
And then as it happens, it turns out there's this whole other continent that nobody knew about before.
Yeah, that's interesting. God, can you imagine being smart enough to prove that the Earth was round using math?
Yeah. Wow.
The Greeks are crazy. I mean,
I can't even calculate a tip on a calculator. Right? I just make it up in my head.
God, God, we've gotten like collectively. I don't know. I mean, we're not dumber, but man, I can't imagine being that smart.
Well, thank God for autism. Every once in a while, someone comes along that
Mr. Autism.
Mr. Autism. And planet Earth is round. Mr. Autism.
And I need a juice box.
Mr. Autism, get me out of this well.
We were throwing the word spectrum around a lot, and I was trying to find a way to make the...
No, I feel you. I was thinking the same thing. But yeah, the thing is, though, I am positive. I am dead sure that there are people in this world who believe that the Earth is flat for one reason or another. They're probably also the same people who believe that the first lunar landing was faked.
Yeah, right. I saw there's another conspiracy offshoot happening right now around the moon landing. There's another one. Apparently, a photo of an astronaut, sort of face visor that reflects someone else, and they're convinced it's a stagehand in the faked landing. You know what? I just can't. I can't keep up with these people.
Yeah, can we stop with the fucking
the moon landing shit?
God, can we? Is that hard to believe that we were able to do that? Like,
yes,
human beings are human beings are pretty smart. The Roman Empire, the Greeks. I'm telling you, I'm convinced that if the Roman Empire didn't fall.
You said this to me last week. That was fascinating.
Maybe I'm fucking crazy.
You're not.
I'm convinced if the Roman Empire hadn't collapsed, we would be on Mars right now, having this podcast.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like ending every episode with "Hail Caesar."
Right. Right. I'm just convinced that the Romans had a plumbing system and fresh water system that is 10 times more advanced than the one we have now.
Oh, really?
That's fucking crazy.
Something I don't know much about.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Maybe not more advanced. What do you mean? That's very interesting.
They didn't have wrought steel pipes or
No, but they had cleaner water and they had a better plumbing system.
Oh, really?
The aqueduct is they're still not. They had running water in their homes. Filtered running water in a constant, steady supply.
Mm-hmm.
Filtered?
Yes.
How did they filter it?
Hold on.
With what did they filter it? Because until...
And now the bullshit episode takes full swing!
Because until germ theory came around, nobody knew why, boiling water purified it.
Right. Filtration existed in various forms, obviously, like we have now, where you run things through sediment. So obviously that existed.
Right, but not like in ancient Rome. The only way to purify water would reasonably be to boil it, right?
Yeah, but at least it didn't turn the frogs gay, and I think that's a real.
I'm gonna have to do some research on this.
Yeah, maybe we'll come back to this one in a follow up sometime.
Because I've read in several places that they had filtered water that was a more advanced plumbing system than we use now.
To say nothing of magnets. I mean, I don't know
how do they work.
Here's something that'll really blow your mind. There are in what is now Iraq. Mm-hmm. Artifacts dating back to Babylon and Sumeria that are actually ancient batteries.
I told him the same thing when we were talking about this last week. The invention of the chemical battery is so far back in our history. And it was essentially a lost technology.
It was just a copper rod in a jar full of water?
Yeah,
or something like that?
It's basically, it's
some ions or some shit.
The corrosion of metals, between, and ions displaced from one place to the other. I mean, it's basically the chemical battery.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Which is ridiculous, and it's thousands of years old.
Yeah.
This is why
thousands of years ago.
This is why before the dawn of man as we knew him.
Well, this is the Islamic empire of the scientific thought of these old Islamic empires that got destroyed, wiped out.
Yeah. Thanks, Mongols.
It's crazy how much we lose. And now I was telling Chris this last week,
the Library of Alexandria.
Yes.
Do you know in the new Assassin's Creed, the one Aubrey's been playing?
Yeah.
You get to go at some point to the library at Alexandria.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No shit.
Like, and it just reminded me, like, what a fucking tragedy it is that didn't stick around.
We lose so much throughout time.
Yeah.
The destruction of stuff. Chris was lamenting the destruction of ancient artifacts, and in the modern day, the stuff that ISIS is smashing now.
Yeah, fuck ISIS.
Yeah, fuck ISIS, fuck Hitler.
Yeah.
Fuck Hitler.
Fuck Hitler.
All right, so here, I found a little more on the aqueduct here.
Okay.
So it's...
All right, let's...
it was not filtered. It was taken from fresh springs. Mm-hmm. So it was clean water, but the aqueducts...
Gotcha.
The aqueducts would filter... let's see if I can find this quote. It would also be impossible to imagine Rome, which had about 1 million people at its peak.
Giant spider.
Without its large aqueducts. The Romans could have obtained their water from rivers, wells, and springs, but these sources would have become polluted in a large city.
Right.
So basically, they took their water from fresh springs.
We're talking about the people who wipe their ass with a communal rag and a stick.
So the filtration comes from their sewer system.
Ah.
Their sewer system filtered the clean water from the refuse and sent it way the fuck away.
Huh? So that's very interesting and weird.
So it polluted a river.
Okay.
That they deemed they didn't fucking care about.
So they basically had two sewer systems. One where fresh water was reclaimed,
Correct.
and one where sewage goes.
Exactly.
So they just got the poop out of there.
So I got that from PBS, and there's we're just kind of thumbing through it, but they were saying that when travelers would visit Rome, they were amazed at how clean it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they were able to filter sewage. I think that's where I got mixed up. They were able to filter sewage from their fresh plumbing, and they actually had like running water.
That's
kind
of ridiculous.
Fucking insane.
Considering how long ago this was.
The surprised Romans said in response, "Do you actually surround yourself with shit?
Right?
It smells terrible."
Yes, they did.
Meanwhile, having a nice tall glass of lead water, some guy goes, "Yep."
Like into the 1800s in Boston, they were still throwing shit buckets into the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Reminds me of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I feel like it was an Onion headline. That was like from. There was like some Onion compilation that was started from like the beginning of time, maybe.
Okay.
And it just, there was one that just said rat shit covered physicians still haven't found cure for Black Plague or like something like that. It's like, it seems so obvious to us now. It's like, well, fucking duh.
Well, there's shit everywhere, dummies.
You're caked in filth. Of course you're.
I would love to see what picture accompanied that article.
But yeah, excuse me. I was about to bring up another point of bullshit because we were talking about like how humans are smart. Humans are demonstrably very, very smart and have been for thousands of years.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky idiots, and you know it. It's like the fourth time we've quoted Tommy Lee Jones.
But it really pisses me off when this particular bit of bullshit comes up.
Yeah.
Nobody could have built the pyramids with the tools of the time. It had to be aliens.
They did.
Of course they did.
They had shoes. Those people can do anything.
Picture this. Aliens come to our planet.
Yeah.
It's when were the pyramids built? Like 4,000, 5,000 BC?
I thought it was upwards of 6. Maybe
Let's say 6, because that makes it sound more impressive.
I don't know.
Aliens come to Earth 6,000 BC, and they come and they're like, "Behold, humans of this land you call Egypt," whatever the Egyptian word for Egypt is, because Egypt is a Greek word.
Yeah, they go, "What do you call it?" We go, "Egypt, I think." And they go, "Cool."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Behold, we have come to grant you wondrous discoveries in science and technology, and the Egyptians are like, Are you going to give us the power of these craft that you pilot? Are you going to give us the secrets to medicine and health? We're going to teach you how to build a big fucking pile of rocks.
Right. Oh boy.
Gee whiz. Thanks, aliens.
We were both off. It was 2630 when they were constructed.
2630 BC?
It seems surprisingly recent.
Yeah.
It does, but then you take into account the fact that Cleopatra was only about 50 years before Christ. She lived closer to our time than she did to the construction of the pyramids.
Right.
That's fascinating. By a lot too. Holy hell.
Yeah, by about 600 years.
Not only do they have some pretty good ideas about how they built the pyramids, they can tell by looking at the rock the quarries that it would have been sourced from.
Right, exactly.
They have good ideas about that too.
Yeah.
And they can't necessarily prove it, but and this is really where, for me, bullshit. Identifying bullshit is usually as simple as starting with what's more plausible.
Occam's razor.
Simple Occam's razor.
The simplest explanation is usually the most likely one.
Yes, and in fact, it might always be the most likely, even if it's not the truth.
Right.
You know, and so to posit things that are so insane and unprovable and crazy, as opposed to the alternative.
Well, it makes me mad because it doesn't give human beings enough credit.
Justice, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
It doesn't give us enough credit. Of course, we could build a big fucking pyramid like that. It's 2600 BC.
Right.
We've had at that point 4,000 to 6,000 years of civilization behind us.
Sure. Yeah.
Of course they could do that.
Written history goes back as far as 10,000 years or so,
Right.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's the Russian philosophy: throw enough bodies at something, and it's gonna get done.
Well, bodies, but also, contrary to popular belief, the pyramid was not built by slaves. It was built. It was built by paid laborers.
I did not
we
know
know
that.
that. We know this from documented writings of these laborers.
The line might have been a little blurry back then too.
A bit, but they were given beer.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. I knew that.
They were given free beer. If you give a mob of people free beer on the condition that they build a big pyramid for you, they will build that fucking
Sure.
pyramid.
I'd go do that now.
Right.
They will work by
Now-
the hour
now-
because the longer it takes, the more beer you get.
Sure. Now, do you know why they were given beer?
Because you got to
know
boil
why.
water to make beer.
Correct.
It makes it more sanitary than water to
Right,
drink.
and there was at the time not a gigantic surplus of fresh water, and they had
Yeah.
So that was considered the
Anywhere
health-
there's civilization, there's a freshwater problem.
Right.
To this day, beer is the third most consumed beverage in the world.
Yeah.
Water is the second. You know what the first is?
Oh God, give me a second. It better not be Coca-Cola. It can't. Be
It's
Coca-
not Coke.
Okay. I was gonna shit.
It's the number one for the same reason that beer has been so popular
Tea?
throughout history. Tea.
Really?
yeah.
Tea is the most consumed beverage on the planet. And it got so popular in places that didn't develop alcohol. East Asia, the Americas. There are some Native American teas out there. It got so popular around there because for the same reason. Tea is inherently more sanitary than water because you got to boil it in the process of making it.
Yeah.
It's probably why, to this day, and this is maybe another slight veer into another bullshit territory, right? Teas with supplements and additives and things that are supposed to do things like, I don't know, cure cancer, like these crazy claims.
Yeah.
This is where this gets started is, I boiled this shit and I drank it and I didn't die.
Right.
Well. Now let me tell you this though. I've read some actual research on the effects of tea, and there's no solid proof, of course, that it cures cancer. But the stuff that it does do, might actually really surprise you. Tea is a natural,
Like peer-reviewed shit?
yeah. Tea is a natural source of caffeine for one.
Sure.
It's and not even like jacked up caffeine like with bottled coffee and energy drinks.
Yeah.
Green tea accelerates your metabolism, so it's actually helpful in losing weight. White tea has antioxidants, which I think the consensus is we know antioxidants are beneficial, but we don't know exactly
What
why.
they do.
You really can't attribute any. You certainly can't attribute curative claims or the kind of claims that people want to attribute to
Sure.
them.
And also keep in mind, the kind of person who drinks tea more than anyone else is probably very, very conscious of their health to begin with.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's the third variable.
Right.
Like, are you healthy because you drank tea, or are you healthy and that led you to drink tea?
Right. It's. I can tell you, tea does have some very positive effects.
No, that's the thing. I think it's good for you. I do. I think it's good
it can
for you.
lower your blood pressure. It can
Yeah.
keep you calm. It can keep you level-headed.
But
it's not a miracle thing.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is to veer into that, and maybe this is another good one to talk about. There are a lot of people buy an insane amount of supplements in this country. An insane amount of them.
That's because people are either A, so unhealthy that they feel like that's going to help, or B, already healthy and don't want to not be healthy.
Or C, they might actually have a legitimate deficiency caused by a condition.
Sure,
like they might be anemic and need iron supplements.
Yeah, there's some legitimate uses for those things. But it's the amount we spend is so disproportionate to the demonstrable benefit.
Sure.
And I know I told you guys on this podcast about encountering that. I went over to my aunt's place.
I was going to say, this leads into another form of bullshit, which is pyramid schemes.
Yeah, we could. Let's go there. Let's go there. Because you know what, everybody knows at least one.
Because I told you about that time I was at my friend from high school's birthday party.
I think we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, and
you ended up in a pitch.
I ended up in a pitch for a magical mangosteen fruit drink
Mangosteen.
Mangosteen.
We can't legally say it cures cancer.
Mangosteen. Mangosteen.
Hi, I'm Joel Osteen. Look at my big, weird, creepy clown smile and my perfectly coiffed hair.
Now have a sip of my mangoes.
Joel Osteen looks like the guy in a Star Trek episode where he's like, I'm a transfer officer, I'm on board for the next week, and you're like, oh, I know I'm gonna hate this guy by the end of the episode.
I just don't know why yet.
He's gonna try and take over like Picard's command.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna hate this guy, I don't know why yet.
He's got a real shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
He's got a real shit-eating grin on him, that Joel Osteen.
And a banging, smoking hot wife.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. Well, thus saith
Who's also crazy.
Thus saith the Lord, thou must covet every woman in the world until you find the hottest one.
That's right.
Hey, if God wills you to have a hot wife because you're really good, and then you deserve it.
Yeah, sure.
That's the principle.
Yeah, you're totally
Also
not
money.
ripping
Inshallah.
It's a mitzvah. But yeah, no, pyramid schemes are fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're really, really obvious to anybody who knows what they are and doesn't want to be in one.
Right.
What's worse now is the schemes that don't look like schemes, but they're totally schemes. I'm thinking mostly of EA's recent botched release of Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I wanted to buy that so bad.
That's a money hole if I've ever seen one.
I went from, I want to give EA my money again, to, I never want to give EA my money again.
No.
I can't believe you ever came back up.
They're irredeemable.
It looked good.
The nation of Belgium now is going through a series of court hearings to determine whether Battlefront 2 should be legislated or regulated rather as gambling.
Oh, man, you would have talked some bad fucking PR. You've been taking a court over your game, EA. Suck it.
Well, now
Gambling.
there are rumors.
Loot boxes.
There are rumors.
Stuff like that.
There are rumors flying around. I think we talked about this off the show that Disney gave a very angry phone call to EA not too long ago about how they've been handling this release and how a vast majority of the content is shit that you have to pay for.
I think we actually have the audio here. Hold on, we'll patch this in real quick.
Dude, are you fucking this up?
Who is that?
It must have been like that. It must have been fury.
Yeah.
Right?
Disney historically, for all their faults, Disney has historically taken a strong stance against gambling. Mm-hmm. They don't like it depicted in their movies.
Yeah.
They don't like it involved in their games and merchandise.
Not since Pinocchio, right?
Yeah, once you do the whole Pleasure Island thing, you can't really go down the gambling route.
Hey, let's call bullshit on that, man. Disney got rid of Pleasure Island at Walt Disney World. Now that I'm an adult, I don't get to enjoy it. That fucking pisses me off because I remember going there when I was a kid.
Yeah.
The big 8-story. That was a thing.
I don't know about this.
You don't know about this?
No.
That was briefly. That's a subsect of Disney World. When you go to Walt Disney World, there's like the 4 main big parks, and then there's the water parks, and there's a bunch of other
Epcot
shit.
And all that shit.
Yeah, Epcot. There's like 9 million resorts.
The
And then
Hall
they had
of Presidents.
The Hall of Presidents.
Yeah.
Dumbo. No, and then they had a little like station for the adults, like a little, basically an entire little park for the adults called Pleasure Island.
Yeah.
And it was bars, nightclubs.
That's awesome.
And 8.
Do you get a complimentary pair of donkey ears when
That
you
would
go
be
in?
fucking awesome. But no, it was like we went there because there was an 8-story arcade.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I got to go to the 8, which is fucking incredible. It's a gigantic
sounds so
8-story
cool.
arcade.
8 stories?
And they had VR that is just as good as it is now on your phone. Or like, and like,
No
or like
shit.
and on the
Are
Oculus.
you sure you're not just remembering this with some very fond memories?
And they had a whole bunch of people that just suck your dick right when you walk in the
No,
door.
I remember we played a comic book VR game where you had to fight a boss basically as a collective.
shit.
Can someone suck my dick while I'm in a VR thing with like I don't know, Cinderella?
That's the dream, buddy.
No,
That's weird, actually.
It is. I'm pretty sure every Disney princess is like under 18.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a boner killer right at the start. Yeah.
You gotta age him up. You gotta give him some bazongas and like maybe some crow's eyes.
Give me some crow's feet so I can, or just crow's eyes.
Disney Quest, that's what it was.
You know what I fucking mean.
Just the shiny black dead eyes of a crow looking
A
up at
murder
you.
of Disney princesses. A murder. I think we gotta.
Yeah,
can we make that our
that's our
subtitle?
subtitle. A murder. I'm just writing that down. A murder of Disney princesses.
Oh god.
It was called Disney Quest, and it was
No
a
shit.
gigantic arcade. They shut it down along with Pleasure Island
That is such a
for
shame.
being too fun. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But like, no, it was just like a
Too many people getting drunk and playing Street Fighter.
right. Well, I mean, that was it. And each floor was something different. Like I remember, one floor was all retro games. One floor was like newer school games. One floor was virtual reality. I remember there was a cool one that my mom and I went on where you got to design your own roller coaster, strap in a thing, and then you would virtual reality ride on your own roller
Nice.
coaster. It
That's
was
sick.
fucking cool.
Please tell me there was a whole floor dedicated to light gun games where you could.
There were definitely light gun games, but I don't remember all the. I just remember there was a retro level, and I was young and stupid, and I'm like, that's gay. Let's not do that. You know? I know I blew it. I fucking blew it. But,
whatever.
but like I remember. Like 12 of us just waiting in line for a virtual reality thing where you got 2 guns and you had to fight like a comic book boss.
That's so
It's
cool.
fucking cool, dude. And there were all these bars and clubs and shit. And I thought, man, when I'm an adult, I'm gonna come back here because this is gonna be awesome. And then they fucking shut it down when
Do you
I was
remember when
like,
that was?
It would have been 2001.
No shit.
Well, they shut it down not long ago, a couple years back. Yeah, but
That's really disappointing.
Yeah.
Man, Disney.
but
I don't know if I'd be willing to brave the rest of Disney World just to get that.
yeah. Oh no, you want to do everything else, but Pleasure Island is an added bonus.
I was just talking earlier today with a coworker of mine. This is like an adult woman in like her 40s.
yeah.
About how we neither of us have absolutely any interest in going to Disneyland
Dude,
ever.
I'm all about it. Well, Disneyland is different than Disney World.
Or Disney World, whatever. Like
Right, yeah.
theme parks in general. Like half of it's waiting in line.
I'm kind of over them.
Half of it's waiting in line. 25% of it is overpriced food.
Yeah.
And then 25% of it is just thrills that last for 15 seconds.
Well, the thing is, if you get the right,
I'm fine with
If
that.
you get the right travel agent and you get it booked right, you don't have to wait in line anywhere.
Oh, really? You get like a fast pass?
Yeah, you get the fast pass. The
Yeah.
Disney fast pass is like
That's the other thing that kind of let's talk about bullshit. The fact that you gotta pay extra. The EA version of amusement parks,
Worth
you
it.
gotta pay extra if you're going to get the front of the line.
Yeah,
If
worth
you
it.
pay the ticket price, you're a fucking idiot.
worth it. Yeah, worth it.
and the ticket price is already just egregious.
Yeah.
You know, it's been so long since I've been to one. Maybe I'm selling them short.
You are.
Or maybe I am.
You are.
What time are we looking at?
Hour 20.
We got some. We got
that's
some
plenty
time.
of time.
Yeah.
We're good.
I'll tell you what. When we hit around the hour 40 mark or so, I got a little game I want to play with you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Just a little extra segment. I don't know if it's going to stay in the show or not, but it might be something I want to do regularly
I like
on my
games.
episodes. It's a little game.
I like games.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what about bullshit what other kinds of bullshit are out there today?
I got one.
What kind of bullshit is trending?
I got one that I'm gonna leave
Let me
you guys
check my
hanging with.
Twitter feed.
I'm gonna leave you guys hanging with this one, and then I'm gonna go take a leak. And I'm gonna let it hang in the air.
Okay.
I want to talk
Let
about
that leak hang in the air.
How much hang time do you get on your leak? What's the degree of the arc?
What's the aeration?
What?
What?
I want to talk about the Oscars and how it's all just a basic. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go pee.
Yeah,
I'm
you know what?
gonna let that hang in the air.
No, you know what? Yeah, let's start on it because it's complete bullshit. It's exactly like every other dumb popularity contest you ever experienced. The high school yearbook most likely to It's the who's who having fun with the who's who.
How hyped were we when Leo finally got an Oscar for The Revenant?
Yeah,
That's not even
in a way,
his
it's
best
more
movie.
It's more insane that it never happened, considering the bullshit sham nature of what that event is.
Yeah,
He's been in enough stuff that was high enough profile, financed well enough, connected enough.
I think absolutely that it happened because people were talking about it enough.
Yeah, right.
It would make the Oscars a huge story if he was to win.
Sure.
And The Revenant was, it's just as good a movie as any, I guess. but I don't know, like for Leo's acting chops, like Shutter Island, The Departed.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Departed, The Aviator.
I mean,
Way
fuck.
in the future.
Way in the future.
I mean, fuck. Departed even won Best Picture, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
And Leo didn't even get Best Actor for that.
Nope. Well, here's the crime of that. If you've ever seen The Revenant, Leo is not the best part of that movie. Tom Hardy is the best part of that movie.
You've said that before.
As the most believable bad guy I've ever seen in any movie ever.
I still haven't seen that.
Just a horrible son of a bitch, and he just plays it to perfection, and it's so well done.
Yeah.
But Leo that wouldn't have been the movie, and I'm not even particularly a huge Leo fan, but like,
Yeah.
You want a beer? You want a beer?
like that's not. I would have given it to him for The Aviator for his Howard Hughes portrayal.
He's good in the right movie.
He has to be in the right movie.
He's not universally. He's like Nicolas Cage. If you put him in the right movie, he's fantastic.
kills it. Yeah, he kills
Leo's
it.
got a purpose.
If
He's
you
got
put
a niche.
if you put Nicolas Cage in Ghost Rider, it gets memed to death.
Right.
But if you put Nicolas Cage in Face Off, it's a timeless classic.
Oh yeah, Face Off is incredible.
I feel like I long for those days when we didn't know how hilarious Nick Cage would be.
Right.
In a way, it was just more pure and simple.
Right. Nick.
If you put Nick Cage in Con Air, it's instant gold.
Sure. Well, like, okay.
If you put him in
the right
The Wicker
haircut.
Man, it's
Yeah,
terrible.
Right. But like, all right, think about this. All right, it's just a rich white guys club patting each other.
Yeah.
Look how good we did.
Yeah, and then every once in a while they give it up to someone like Denzel
Right.
or Samuel L. Jackson, a black actor that white people can
Right.
digest.
Well, that was a big thing. It was like, oh, there's no black
you
people at the
laugh,
Oscars.
No, it's true. That's what Oscars So White
Right.
was all the fuck
Yeah.
about.
Right. Well, there's no black people at the Oscars. So next year we got to get like as many black
All of
people
them.
at the Oscars.
All
as
the
we
black
can
people
get.
in Hollywood.
Right.
So as long as they're palatable to white audiences.
Sure, exactly.
They gotta
And
be palatable.
let's
me that
be
Wayne Brady
100%
kind of black.
clear. That is not to short like someone like Viola Davis,
Yeah.
who is
Ooh.
an incredible actress,
Yeah.
Yeah.
an incredible actress, and won her awards on merit.
No, yeah, it's to say
Absolutely.
that this should be happening way more often.
Correct.
And the fact that it doesn't is suspicious.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And just because you're told all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Well, we got to pull every black person in Hollywood into this room now.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm
Look how tolerant we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but amidst all that were people who deserved it for a long fucking time.
exactly.
I'm real happy that Marvel is sort of leading the charge into this with you know, I feel like they kind of dipped their toe in the water by making Nick Fury a black man, by making him Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, in the comics, Nick Fury is a more muscular Reed Richards with an eye patch.
Yeah.
But
Brilliant call. Brilliant call.
Brilliant call. If there's any motherfucker out there who's bad enough to play Nick Fury,
Emphasis on motherfucker.
it's Samuel L. Jackson. And I feel like once they realized that was going to work, they started doing it more, and I think that's only helped them.
There's a lot of people who are real cynical about this for reasons I understand.
Right.
Which is like,
Sure.
okay, I am a big fan of a certain character. And then you cast them in such a way that they don't look like any of my conceptions of that character. The same way that I read a book and now they made a movie and they changed everything and it hurts me because I have an association with the material.
But this is why I'm so happy they're making a Black Panther movie, because there's no excuse now.
Right.
Yep.
The whole cast, save for like one or two guys, is entirely black.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the way it should
And
be.
who cares?
Right? No one should care. I just want to see Black Panther kick some ass.
Because it looks fucking sweet.
I'm not going there for the fucking diversity.
Guys,
that is a plus.
Just saying I'm colorblind, I don't really see it, right? I don't really see it like you people do.
But like for which hilarious as that may be.
Yeah.
It's there are certain superheroes, Black Panther and particularly Luke Cage come to mind.
Yeah.
For whom race is a real central part of their identity.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the Luke Cage series on Netflix. It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And race plays a big part in it. It's a central part of it is black on black violence in America.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's topical, it's poignant, and then Luke Cage is here and he's invincible, and he just gets punched in the face and the dude breaks his hand. My point is, I fucking love Luke Cage, and I'm happy.
Hey, what I'm really trying to say is, I fucking love Luke Cage.
What I'm trying to say is, Luke Cage is fucking awesome.
It
always has been, and I'm glad he got the justice he deserved in the Netflix series.
Yeah. Much to the chagrin of neckbeards everywhere.
Sure. You know what? I
can't connect to this.
I can't get behind it. There's such a swirl around the Oscars every year, and it's just fucking rich assholes.
Yeah.
Patting themselves on the back and occasionally getting something right.
To go full circle on this and to just wrap it all up, everybody fucking knew stories about Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, how many?
And his Weinstein Company films did not hurt for it.
Right.
How much you want to bet that there's going to be viewing parties this year for the Oscars, or this coming year rather, for the Oscars? I forget when the Oscars are.
Because they're in spring.
Yeah. Where, and I by the way, this is an underhanded way of me suggesting we have one of these viewing parties where we try to pick out all the pedophiles in the audience.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Well, that's the thing is they won't fucking be there. They will not show their faces. I guarantee it.
Whole room, that whole theater is going to be chock full of perverts, pedophiles,
both Afflecks,
or people,
Matt Damon,
both Afflecks,
or for that matter, people who are not any of that, but knew perfectly well and didn't say anything.
Right.
And you know what? It's. I think it was Quentin Tarantino recently. Who said something like, you know what, I knew enough to do more than I did.
Yeah.
There's way more people like that in Hollywood than anything else.
Right.
Because everybody's got a fucking story.
Yeah.
It's like they said about Kevin Spacey. They were saying everybody has a Kevin Spacey story.
Yeah.
How fucked up is that? It's enough of a reason. What Call of Duty game or whatever was it that he's in that no one's going to want to play anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 7 at home on Blu-ray. That's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
And now I can't enjoy 7 anymore.
Yeah.
That fucking pisses me off. I can't watch the new season of House of Cards.
For the last 5 years, I have watched House of Cards, and then when the next season came, watched everything before leading up to it again. I've watched the first season of House of Cards 5 times.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't do that now.
I know. Yeah. That's
and the Knock,
that's part of my life now.
I do that now. Frank Underwood's little knock to harden his knuckles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I remember the good old days when the worst thing a celebrity did was Paul Rubens jacking off in an adult theater.
Which is what you do when you go to an adult theater. Everybody crucified him for that.
I still remember what my mom told me about that. She told me that he pulled his penis out in front of kids.
What? No.
What kids are in an adult theater?
They weren't, but my mother told me that when I was 9 or something.
Oh.
She was like, "That's what happens."
Hey, Cowboy Curtis!
How's it going?
And I don't think she was trying to lie to me.
You mind if I tug up my wiener?
Yes, cowboy.
It's wacky in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I don't think she was trying to lie.
Captain Carl.
I think she didn't know realistically.
I think it's a game of telephone.
Yeah, I think so too.
The event to the police, to the reporters, to the media.
Yeah.
it's a big to the people.
It was
It is a big
refreshing
game
when,
of
when Pee Wee came back to see him get a standing ovation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Pee Wee Herman's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just to say it's gonna absolutely break my heart if it turns out like, because I think probably the one person who he's not Hollywood, but he's been in big movies. He qualifies as a piece of Hollywood.
TV's Matthew Modine.
Yeah.
TV's Matt Modine.
TV's Matt Modine.
No, but Jack Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if I found out someone like Jack Black or Patrick Stewart or like
that would.
but see like Patrick Stewart, like everyone knows Pat's a good guy because
He loves the hell out of his wife for one.
he loves the hell out of his wife.
But people who are good do that shit.
He
It's
is
crazy.
He has publicly spoken out about domestic violence and the domestic violence he experienced as a child.
Yeah.
With his mother abusing his father, and he's a pure soul. And I feel like if it turns out that he like routinely chops babies in half with an axe, I'm just gonna fucking off
Walk
myself.
off a cliff.
Yeah.
I'll go with you. If Patrick Stewart chops babies in half, I'm walking off a cliff too.
If Jeff Bridges...
You don't understand. It was for firewood.
If Jeff Bridges does coke with a 9-year-old...
Oh my god. What a heartbreak.
Oh yeah, God! If Jeff Bridges turns out to be a pervert, I'm done.
Two little boys on the leash in his estate.
Oh! No! God, no!
I think we've already talked about the movie Sideways as evidence that the Oscars is wrong.
Yep. Yeah. Entire
To say nothing of Crash.
Right, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, fuck that
it's a
movie.
huge circle jerk, all this stuff.
A lot of my favorite movies that I watch every year don't even get nominated for stuff that deserve it. The Vitch.
The Vitch.
The Vitch.
One of my favorite movies.
Fucking phenomenal.
One of my favorite movies ever.
When I get a Blu-ray player in this house, we're gonna rewatch that.
I can bring my PS3 over.
Yeah,
It's a Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
I need to own one. It's 2017. I'm still living in the DVD
Get
era.
a 4K Blu-ray player.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you gotta get a 4K.
I got that 4K TV. Gotta really,
Gotta go right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what's this game you want
So
to
I want to play a little game. We got it's a limited amount of time we have left here before we really probably gotta cut and move on. Yeah, okay. So this is, I don't know if I'm going to do this again, but one of my favorite podcasts is Comedy Bang Bang, and we've talked about this before.
Oh, yeah.
They have a feature that they do every episode, and I just thought it'd be fun to do this one, and it's a game you know well. It's Would You Rather. Would You Rather is a...
I think this fits perfectly into the dude atmosphere.
It kind of does, because it lets us talk about some crazy scenarios, and I have some, I decided to do... I could have wrote a few. I did write one. I think I might actually use this one. I also researched a few online. And I want to do, on my episodes, a Would You Rather scenario.
Sure.
And we can talk it out and try to figure out what the best option is here.
Sure.
So I have this one here. Would you rather, for this week, would you rather be wealthy and live in a mansion, but every time you shit, you have to save it in a jar and display it in your living room? And all your past shits are already there. Every shit you ever took since you were a little baby.
Of shit.
I know.
Dude,
but it's a mansion.
Dude, I shit a lot.
It's a mansion. It's real big. So it would have to be big enough to hold all your shits.
Sure. So it's like a library of my shit.
It can be as big. Yeah, exactly.
A
It's
vault.
Like, it's a
veritable Fort Knox of my own gold
a
bricks.
murder.
and they all
my
get their
shits.
and they all get their own jar too. So you can't put them all in one big container.
Sure.
Parliament of my shits.
a parliament funkadelic of my shit.
So that, or you have whatever the coolest car you can picture is, and it can also fly. But 4 times a day, it automatically rolls its windows down while you're driving, and it plays a series of racial epithets at full volume for 60 seconds.
Four times a day?
4 times a day.
But it can fly.
It can fly.
Do I... So...
How fast can it fly? Can it travel at greater than Mach 1?
It can get fast enough that you feel like, nah, this is really cruising.
Do I know...
Whatever that means for you.
Do I know ahead of time when it happens?
You were not going to know. It's going to be random. The windows roll down. It could be any time. It could be when you're up in the sky. It could be while you're rolling down like Glenwood Avenue.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna pick the wealth in the mansion because then I can buy a car that isn't racist.
Yes, you can.
And my But you
can't have people in your house, or they're gonna look at your poops.
I don't care.
You don't really. You don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm a shut-in anyway. Who says I'm gonna have people in my house?
Right, exactly.
Well,
you said just the living room, right?
It has to be your living room.
Has to be the living room.
Which, for the purposes of this demonstration, is the way into your house.
Yeah, the first room people are gonna see.
They're gonna see it when they come in.
All right.
You can't hide it.
I gotta go fabulously wealthy.
You going
Yeah.
you know what? I think I am too.
Because again, you can buy a car that isn't racist.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You could buy a car. It won't fly because that doesn't exist on the market.
Incidentally, dream car.
Yeah.
Dream car?
Dream car.
You're asking.
Yeah.
61 C-type Jag.
McLaren. F1.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a great big idiot. I want a Tesla. I want a Tesla electric car because I'm
That's
a
your
dork.
dream car?
Yep.
That's the best you can come up
That's
with.
what I want.
You don't want one that makes
cool.
women automatically come as they see it.
No, that's what I want.
Nah,
I'm a tech nerd.
No.
That's what I want.
Dude, wow.
It won't perform like every other car, but
Okay,
man,
I thought you were talking about
say-
won't perform sexually.
You say you're a tech nerd.
Yeah.
But let me tell you a few things about the McLaren F1.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is just loaded. It's half computer. It's like the Darth Vader of cars.
The problem is I'm not really a car guy. And as much Top Gear as I've watched, I've never really picked out anything that I love that much.
Oh, the very first episode of Top Gear we three watched in its entirety was the one where Jeremy Clarkson talks about the McLaren F1, and it has been my dream car
It's
ever
incredible.
since.
No
It's
kidding.
incredible. No, C-type Jag. I want to look like James Bond.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I don't want to pay for
Yeah.
gas anymore.
I want a fun. Yeah, come on, man. You're fabulously wealthy.
No.
Oh, you
yeah,
forgot.
if you're, yeah,
Right.
good point.
Come on.
But the flying car, maybe I could just every time I get in it, immediately shoot up to the sky.
If I'm fabulously wealthy, I can buy a fucking plane.
That's true, but you can't drive it.
No, I can pay someone to drive it.
Right. Well, you can pay someone to fly, but you'll never land it on the ground and drive away.
Yeah, but on the other hand, would I want to drive away while my car is shouting the N-word constantly? That takes a bit away from it.
You're right. Yeah, it makes it. It's not just for the other people around your car. It's for you.
Yeah.
You're being assaulted with, and it's not. It's just every race. It just screams terrible things for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
That's kind of a downer.
Yeah, it's like you land, you like pull
60
into like
seconds. That's a lot of.
Yeah, but it's only
Wow.
4 times a day, man.
I don't know if I could do that.
imagine you pull into LAX.
Yeah.
And there's all these beautiful women go like, oh my god, he's got a flying car, and you lean out the window and go, catch me later, I'll give you a lift. And then all of a sudden your car shouts, Techies!
Jews, brown guys.
Yeah, and
Jesus.
You know what? Honestly, giving it enough thought, I'm going with wealthy and mansion.
Yeah. Go wealthy.
People can deal with my shits.
That's a big living room though, because
Yeah.
I take a lot of.
I'll
shits.
go out more.
I'll explain it by saying, do you know how rich I am? These are going to be artifacts one day.
There you go.
These are going to fetch someone.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people in need. A lot of money. These are going to be auctioned off at my death.
Just don't knock any of them over.
There's nothing Howard Hughes about any of that.
Yep.
All right, well, that was fun. I wanted to play this game, and I think I'm going to bring it back.
I like that. Can we bring it up too?
If you want to, by all means, let's do Would You Rather. I mean, I know it's at this point it's a little bit of a Comedy Bang Bang trademark, but fuck it, it's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so let's maybe do that again.
Fun question.
I wrote that one, by the way. Did you? Yeah. All right, so let's take a break, and we will be back in a minute with our recommendations and what we learned. Stick around. Thank you. We're back.
Hey guys. Oh.
Hello.
This has been a fun episode. It's a little odd because we're doing it on a Monday. That doesn't normally happen.
Yeah.
But it's good. I've enjoyed this one. Oh, nice mustache, buddy.
Yes.
What's that made out of?
Yes.
A little piece of plastic. Oh.
Yes.
Wow, you look quite
Sorry, I
sophisticated.
don't know what I'm doing.
It is time to talk about our recommendations.
Yes.
I have one that I want to talk about here. There's a series. I believe it's already started. No, it hasn't started. It starts next year. I'm really excited about it. And my recommendation is actually to just watch the trailer. As crazy as that sounds.
Okay.
The trailer
Do tell.
is gorgeous and the music is great, and I'll get into that. But it's the series Blue Planet 2.
Ooh.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know that they're remaking this, but the previous Blue Planet series, which I think it's over 5 years old now, it's been around a while, is all dedicated towards, obviously, like it's an oceanographic documentary, and all of these nature documentaries have this thing in common, which is that anymore they're shot in the most beautiful, jaw-dropping way.
Yeah.
Right? There is no cinematography that I can think of that is as consistently amazing as what they pull off of these nature documentaries.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers Planet Earth.
Yeah, for
Planet
sure.
Earth was just jaw-dropping, set the tone. They did Blue Planet, likewise. It was unparalleled. And they've gone on to, I don't know if they've started Planet Earth 2, but I know that it's planned. They may have already started it. And Blue Planet 2 is coming in the beginning of 2018.
Wow.
I cannot stress to you enough. It's one of these things that's like, you really want to convey the amazingness of something and there just aren't words.
Yeah.
I will say that the trailer for Blue Planet 2, which is accompanied by a rescoring of Radiohead's Bloom off of the King of Limbs, a collaboration they did with Hans Zimmer. This is a big, beautiful orchestral arrangement of that song.
Oh.
And the visuals are so rich and the clarity is stunning.
It's so dense.
It's just every
shot. That's so much going on.
much like episode 1
A Phantom Menace.
A Phantom Menace. No, it's just, I can't convey to you in words how jaw-dropping it is. I'm fairly certain that what I was watching on YouTube was in 4K on my TV.
Yeah.
And it just arrests you.
Yeah.
And I
We
was
should
watching
watch that like when we go upstairs.
I'm going to show it to you tonight, if that's a possibility.
Nickel for every time someone said that.
Wink.
Ah,
Maybe tonight.
talking about my penis.
Or their penis.
Or their penis.
Someone's penis.
Someone's penis. So about this, with whatever, Mutual Omaha's wild,
What? So, yeah, okay. So here's the thing. This is shot at what I believe is full 4K. The trailer is it looks to be 4K to me.
probably shot in 8K and
Yeah.
scaled down to 4K would be my guess, because they have the capability to shoot higher than.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah.
But it's presented at 4K, I should say. And it's as much. It's so hard to. Like, everyone knows that's the beauty of a really great nature documentary, but the colors are so rich, and the visuals are so intense, and the music is so swelling. And it's one of these things that I know we've all had this experience before, and we've talked about it on the show. But it's one of these things that reminds you of how lucky you are to be a human being.
Yeah.
And just, how proud you are to be on Earth and the majesty of it. So, I know I've been filling this with a bunch of words. I'm just going to stop and say, watch the trailer for Blue Planet 2. Keep an eye on it when it comes out.
Yeah.
I think it's going to set a new standard for these nature docu-series that we love.
It broke new ground!
It broke new ground! It's going to break new ground! I am fairly certain of it. So, I guess in a really long-winded way of saying it, that's my recommendation.
Yeah.
Watch Blue Planet 2.
All right, guys. See you next week.
All right, bye. All right, so
I'll go.
I think we're gonna just hold on a minute and go to Chris.
See,
I psyched you out.
You did.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm gonna skip the letting you guys choose the album recommendation this week, and in honor of Malcolm Young,
I thought you might.
I'm gonna pick an AC/DC album. I thought about this for the past couple days
Yeah.
which AC/DC album to recommend, to listen to, and there's so many. These guys did like 25 albums.
Yeah.
They did a lot.
Yeah.
And they're all good. There's not really a bad one. But I think of, rather than go with like the obvious picks.
Yeah, the stuff that most people have probably heard if they're into them.
Yeah, the one I'm gonna go with is an album that it was like their fourth one that they did with Bon Scott, and it's an album called "Let There Be Rock." And
That's a great name.
So there's like I'm trying to think what's on there, Bad Boy Boogie, Let There Be Rock.
Yeah.
Continuing the trend of great popular music.
Yeah.
Romanticizing large women with big butts.
Yep.
There's a song called "Whole Lotta Rosie" with one of the nastiest solo segments ever put down. This is not complicated music. This is like rock and roll at its most pure and driving. And Bon Scott's nasty snarl and the one of the best rhythm sections in rock and roll with the most recognizable chords. And of course, Angus Young, just like forever being that 14-year-old guy in his dad's basement, just jamming with his buddies and just ripping on the guitar.
Yeah.
Just some of the nastiest solos ever.
It just sounds like pure pleasure. when
It
you
is
describe
incredible. Let there just the song. You can even just listen to that song. Let There Be Rock, and it's just the cool thing that AC/DC did, especially on like their earlier stuff. Is they used to tune their guitars just south of standard, like a quarter step flat. So they get this real like dirty, nasty kind of bite on them.
Yeah.
And it makes for great rock and roll. So check that album out. I was gonna go with something like that people heard of, but I figured everybody's probably already listened to Back in Black already.
Oh yeah.
But you might not have listened to.
I listened to it right before I hit the sack.
Number one. It's my number one with a bullet. You have a power pack? But no, it's everybody's probably already listened to Back in Black. I would imagine most people probably listen to Highway to Hell at some point.
Yeah.
Check out Let There Be Rock. That's a little more early, raw,
I dig that.
nasty rock and roll.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'll have to put that on my list. You know, a lot of the times I do the disservice to this podcast of not actually indulging in the recommendations.
Yeah, I've been trying to make a strong effort of like going through and
once in a while I do, but I
write them down. So
I owe it to the podcast to listen to that.
Yeah.
What do you got for us, Ben?
I've got two. I'm not sure if the second one I've mentioned on the show yet, but I'll start with the first.
Well, certainly you already said you have three because the first is "Kill and Eat the Rich." So let's put that back up.
Sure. Okay, so
Ever hear the Aerosmith song "Eat the Rich"?
I don't know one thing the very good for.
It was on the Big Ones
that's
compilation.
awesome.
Big ones.
The second greatest hits Aerosmith album.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So my second recommendation, I suppose, is from Thursday until Monday. Don't go any place physical to shop.
Yeah.
Please. Please don't bother me at work.
There is a continued effort to boycott businesses that remain open on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'll be working.
You should boycott the businesses that are open on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And here's why. The holidays that border Thanksgiving, Halloween and Christmas.
Yeah.
When I think of Halloween and Christmas, I think of over-commercialized tripe.
Yeah.
I think in October I'm going to hear the fucking Monster Mash nonstop.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I'm
going
going
to be forced to buy stupid costumes I don't want.
a shitload of candy, dumb costumes, and really it's an excuse to spend money.
Yeah.
Christmas is the same way. Christmas is over-commercialized.
Mm-hmm.
The second Thanksgiving is over. And really, even before, you're going to start hearing Jingle Bell Rock, which is, I think the worst Christmas song of all the Christmas songs. Maybe next to Little Drummer Boy.
Yeah.
It's always Little Drummer Boy.
It's a bad song. But Christmas is the same way, you know. Decorate your house. You gotta do all this shit.
Yeah.
It's a major award.
Yeah, major award.
Thanksgiving, though, is the only holiday where around which there are no politics, there are no religious scruples.
Aside from at the dinner table.
Right.
It's right. But my point is, it doesn't matter what religion you are. Thanksgiving is something you can celebrate, and be thankful for the things that have happened to you in the year.
Yeah.
Sit down, eat a good meal with your family.
Yeah.
And watch some motherfucking football.
And drink beer. Hell yeah.
And drink
Yeah.
beer.
Eat pumpkin pie.
It is a pure holiday that has retained its spirit.
With the exception of this one thing. It's the encroachment.
With the exception of the
Encroachment. Defense, number 65. Sorry, it's the football.
No, I forget
Sorry,
it.
I'm going to just stop.
It is the encroachment of the commercialization of Christmas. It is like, hey, Thanksgiving's around. You got to start thinking about the people you want to buy shit for.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
And only
Of course.
me.
I'm going to buy myself the best Christmas gifts.
But businesses that stay open on Thanksgiving can go fuck themselves, because Thanksgiving is probably the last pure holiday.
Looking at you, Best Buy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thanksgiving is like the last pure holiday there is. Everyone deserves it. Everyone deserves that day to be able to spend time with their families and give thanks to whoever and whatever they want.
Yeah.
For everything they've had good in their lives in the past year. That is important. That is incredibly important.
Yeah.
And fuck, man.
Well, the commercialist aspect of it, of we have to go out and buy Christmas gifts, that is totally arbitrary. That could just as easily happen on Monday.
Right.
Except that it didn't.
Right.
Right? There's no real reason.
I'm doing all my shopping online. I'm not wading out into that shit.
The one exception that I feel like I always end up having to make is gas stations. I'm sorry, I have to go spend money at a gas station on Thanksgiving. But other than that, there's no real need to go out there and do this.
Yep.
No. Gas stations are self-serve. You don't even have to fucking have anyone there.
I have a rule about going out on Thanksgiving, because every year somebody's like, "Oh no, we forgot the cranberry sauce." I'm like, well, we could run out and go grab some. And I'm like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm
not making someone else work so I can be comfortable.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I really can't think of how many times in the last several Thanksgivings I've actually been out. Yeah. The last time I went out, actually, I was outside your store in like 2009 maybe, and I was waiting for a laptop deal. I was like the 80th guy in line, and it rained and my pants froze.
Yeah.
And my mom picked me up at like 5 in the morning, and I was like, I didn't get it. And just like got in the car and went home.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm with you. It's bullshit. Don't buy things that day. Stay home.
And I'll let you in on a little secret. You're not getting a deal.
You're not
getting a deal. The stuff that's like marked down is shit.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that's like the doorbuster deals that we get 5 of is garbage. It's not good.
Yeah.
Like if you asked like earnestly any of the people selling the TVs at my store, hey, this is the response I always like to give people when they're like, "Oh, is this a good TV?" That's a good price. It's like it's not.
Yeah, right.
I had a guy do that. We were selling a 55-inch Panasonic TV one year for like $150.
Yeah.
He's like, "So this is a pretty good TV?" And I'm like, "No." It's like, well, it's $150. What do you think?
Yeah,
it's
like,
gonna break in a year, and you're gonna
just
be
dumb?
disappointed, right? Like, how stupid are you?
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not getting. You're getting. I guess it's a good price.
Yeah.
You're getting a big TV that's not gonna work in 2 years.
It's a good price on a substandard piece of equipment, and everybody knows
Right. You're not getting a deal, and all the shit. They get you in the door with that fucking like teaser, and there's some stuff that goes down real far.
Yeah.
And then for the most part, everything that you're really there buying is the same fucking price it's been for the past 3 weeks.
Yep.
You're not getting a deal. You're just an idiot.
It's just consumer mania.
Right.
It's designed to get you all fish frenzied up.
Right.
You know, like an attack like a pack.
Right.
Yeah.
It's totally arbitrary.
Unfortunately, it's Unfortunately, it's going to work because I want to buy Christmas presents for everyone to show I love them, and the best time to do that is Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
I can do all the shopping from my house and never have to leave my house.
But you don't have to spend a fucking fortune to do it.
No,
you really don't.
No.
And like, I like to spend money on people. I like to give good gifts. I like people to be happy with what they get. But like, I don't want to make people do more than, what they need to do.
Yeah.
It's just.
So that's my first recommendation is don't go shopping on Thanksgiving. Don't go shopping on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Leave those poor workers alone. They shouldn't be working anyway.
Right.
My second recommendation, I think I've talked about this to you guys before, but probably not on the show, is I want to recommend that you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just told me about this the other day, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've ever seen those to be continued memes on YouTube where they play Roundabout by Yes, JoJo is where that comes from. Mm-hmm. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is the story of a lineage of men with they're all some permutation of the nickname JoJo. Jonathan Joestar, Joseph Joestar, Jotaro Joestar.
Okay. There are a long line of JoJos.
Yeah, they're all nicknamed JoJo.
Okay.
And it's their ongoing struggle against evil, I suppose. It's all just it starts with vampires and then it gets into like ancient Aztec blood warriors and shit like that. It's crazy. But like 75% of the characters in the show are named after classic rock groups.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me.
Yeah, the antagonist for part one is Dio Brando. One of JoJo's close allies in part one and part two actually is a man named Robert E.O. Speedwagon. There's
It's really silly.
It's I'll tell you too, it's hella gay. It's so gay.
You said that to me the other day too. I didn't press you further on what that meant, but
what it means is muscular, lithe men with pretty faces,
shimmering bodies,
really fucking shimmering,
the twinkle in the light.
It's hella gay.
Okay.
But it's I don't know. It's not in the way that I guess we in the West would think of it as that. It's there are very well sculpted and often scantily clad men.
Yeah.
But the
nice.
The constant interest in women, the classic rock references,
all their attempts to convince you it's not that gay.
Yeah, you can if you're the type of person who feels really uncomfortable watching anything even vaguely homoerotic, it's not the show for you. But if you like seeing it, it's almost like an anime parody of anime itself.
Yeah.
Events that could reasonably happen in 5 seconds take like a full minute to do because everyone's shouting at each other and explaining exactly what they're doing.
Is there a lot of that thing you
like
see
his
in
energy
anime
is flowing through his arm?
People are posed and there's like lines moving behind them. Is there a lot of that?
Yeah,
shit?
like a single punch will take like a solid minute to explain.
Yeah, people are like sweating and yelling at each other.
It's incredibly self-aware.
Okay.
It knows exactly what it's doing.
It's doing anime at its most anime, I think, is what you kind of said something like that the other day.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's way over the top, and somehow it still manages to get you invested in the characters.
I'm gonna end up picking this up.
It's a lot of fun. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, if only for the fact that you get to hear Roundabout at the end of every episode.
That's a pretty good reason to watch anything. Yeah. I'm gonna end up picking that up.
Not just any band can do a... Yes was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year.
Yes, they were.
Not just any band can pull off a breakdown with a bass solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not just anyone could do that. That's a remarkable fucking thing.
My favorite part of that song is the fact that in the introduction to it, what they're doing, as far as I can tell, is they're juxtaposing like this really light acoustic guitar pick against the reverse sound of piano chords coming in. So they hit a chord and then they reverse the sound, and just as it comes into that point where they hit the keys, that's when the acoustic comes in. It's a really nice piece of sound engineering and just something I appreciate.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a good song. But yeah, that's my second recommendation is watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, dude.
Fantastic.
The internet in the past year or two has been going crazy about it. You know, I'm sure you've seen across several comment sessions. Is that a motherfucking JoJo reference?
I've not seen that, but I'm sure I'm going to notice it now.
I've been curious about the series for a long time. I just recently decided to watch it. Nice. Several of its tropes have been 4chan memes for a while, like since high school. But I picked it up and it's so much fun. It's just a lot of fun.
Well, good pure fun is great. I mean, it sounds like that's what the AC/DC album is about. The Let There Be Rock is about.
Yeah,
as well.
Put your penis in big women.
That's rock.
That's rock and roll.
Well, gentlemen, did we learn anything? I learned some things. Did you learn anything?
I did. I learned that the pyramids weren't built by slaves. Really? Maybe?
I wrote, if you give people free beer, they will slave to death for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know I would.
I learned that Father Bon Jovi is not to be trusted.
Certainly not.
No,
Yeah.
I learned that God has some great golden nips.
Lots of them.
Lots of them. 5, to be exact.
I thought there were more.
No, there was 5.
Oh,
There was 5 nips.
Okay.
5 nips.
That's it. That's all you need.
That's it.
I wrote down dead crow's eyes and a creepy blowjob.
What?
Well, related to that, I learned that a group of Disney princesses is called a murder.
Murder of Disney princesses. That's definitely the episode title.
I wrote Bill Gates tournament level dog skeet shooting champion.
Not just like not amateur, not featherweight, but tournament level.
He's been working at this for a long time.
Pull!
I wrote down, if Patrick Stewart is chopping babies in half, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. It's too much. I also wrote Disney sucks, but not as much as EA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot to outdo Disney in terms of suckiness, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure
EA is
does.
still up there. They're at the top.
Star Wars.
I'm gonna
I wrote You Been Tooked, starring Larm Narson.
I was thinking of calling him Lane Nissan.
the Finnish and Norwegian Liam Neesons, respectively.
I think I wrote, what did I write? Where the fuck has good VR been all this time?
Yeah,
That's
at Disney.
Where have all the good men gone?
I thought it said, where the fuck has good Ur been all this time? And I'm like, what did I write?
Good Ur.
Good Ur.
The ancient city of Ur.
Yes.
Part of the kingdom of Babylon.
We got left with the bad Ur.
Yeah. It's Baghdad.
And it sucks.
It really sucks. Part of that's our fault. Sorry.
Whoopsies.
Whoops. Sorry about the drones.
So that's all I learned. You guys,
I think
we good?
I think we got it.
All right.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna draw myself a dick.
Okay, that's a good idea.
In this notebook for the next session.
Okay. Why?
And, I
leave it for you next week.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see if me.
Yeah, did you draw a dick on my notebook last week?
Did I draw a dick? I did not
that
draw
yours?
that.
I certainly did not draw that because I draw dicks.
This is a mystery. It says butt pucker with a handy, and it's a picture of what appears to be a puckered up asshole shitting on a dick.
It sure does. I did not draw
This has been a mystery. I don't know who did it. I don't mind. I'm not like angry.
We gotta solve this butt pucker.
We gotta figure if anybody knows who drew this dick.
If you or anyone you know has any information regarding this dick, please contact us at the Dick Solvers.
America's most puckered.
There we go.
Anyway, this has been episode 25.
Oh, yeah.
And we will see you again in another week with more duding.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.